If you want to learn how to do epoxy floor for your semi-truck like this one that you are watching right now, stay tuned because this is the part 2 in how to do epoxy floor with your friend Fldlife. Alright guys, so welcome back to your channel. On part 1 I kind of show you like the 3 different types of epoxy pours. I also show you the materials that we use. I kind of show you how to do the, if you decide to do the one with paint, how to do the first part. So if you haven't watched that video, I highly suggest you to go back and watch part 1 and then come back and watch this video. And you are here because you already watched 1, so welcome back and let's get to it. Good afternoon guys, welcome back to your channel again. Today is the next day. It has passed around 20 hours since we shoot the paint on these panels. They're pretty dry, so we're gonna proceed and do the epoxy, the part that you've been waiting for. How to do it, how to prep it is really easy. All we have to do is sand down a little bit just to get the shine off the clear coat. That's all we gotta do. This the stuff I use is like a Scotch-Brite. They sell them where they sell all the paint supplies for you know, for painting cars and stuff, auto paint supplies. And once we do that, we're gonna clean it up, get all the dust off the entire table, make sure the table it's level. And once it's level, we gotta put some tape around it, leave it like a 1/4 inch of tolerance for the epoxy to go into the board. I did fabricate this table to make it really strong, versatile. These outer sections, they flip down once I finish, and they're pretty much level. As you guys can see, I'm showing you just in case you want to do something similar. It's been done the way that it'll hold the floor just perfect, and it will be level all the way to the edges. How do I know that? Because I did use the level when I was building it, and let me see if I can show you. As you guys can see, I don't know if you guys can actually see, it's almost level, like a little bit. I have to work it out, but it's like very light, and everything is nice and level. It's got a little bit of drop, but I have to drag the table to the original position so everything will be level. It's got some wheels on the floor so I can move it around. So I did this table in order to make sure that it gets nice and level, because if you don't do it that way, the epoxy will drip and it'll be thicker on one side than the other. So just make sure that the table, whatever stand or table, whatever you use to do your epoxy, it's nice and level all the way around. That way you will get like a nicer finish. That's on display for now. I'm gonna sand them down and show you through the process. Alright guys, so we're ready to pour the epoxy. Let me go after the whole thing. We sanded everything down. We put tape, masking tape all around, like above the surface, like a 1/4 inch, so that will keep the epoxy in place. Make sure that everything is nice and level all the way around, and we are pretty much ready to pour the epoxy. What other things I need to go over? Okay, so the tools we're going to be using is this big cup. We're going to try to mix the whole cup at a time. This is the kind of spreader I use. If you're using like flakes and stuff on the surface, be careful, because if you strike it like this, if you use a lot of pearl, you might end up seeing the lines. So you have to like spread it right quick with this kind of tool, and then just go over with a you know, with a little wood stick or something like this, which I have here plenty. Just try to reconfigure the beads, otherwise you'll see the strokes with this. So this is what we're using. We're gonna be mixing one of these at a time. Here I have all my pearls ready to go. This is the epoxy I'm using. It's Chinese, but it's great. I'm telling you, this is the best. I've used American ones and they turn yellow over the time just by being sitting here outside. this been sitting out here. I mean, not actually when I'm not using it, it's inside the house, but look at it, still looks nice and neat. So yeah, that's a very important thing, especially if you're doing white stuff. Make sure it doesn't turn out yellow, because it's gonna look nasty over the years, and you know, like in within a year, if you use like a cheap epoxy, it will be yellow within a year. So just use a high quality, doesn't matter where it's from, as long as it's good, and especially when it's white. I already told you what I'm using. I'm using my drill to mix it. Here is my drill. I know it's used, but you know, so that's the way it should be when you're using the tools. I have here a little bit of reducer. You can use some alcohol. This is like in the meantime, when you mix one jar and then you have to go and spread it, you can put the mixer in there, so the epoxy won't stick into it, and you don't have like some leftover from the old mix into the new mix and might react. Have plenty of epoxy ready. As I said, we're gonna mix this one at a time, and in between, once I mix this, in between I'm gonna mix one of these cups with the blue pearl for the beads, and then we're gonna let it sit while we spread the second jar. So that one is kind of getting dry, because when the epoxy is sitting, it's gonna start to dry, and that's what we want. Otherwise, if we spread both at the same time, the beads, you know, the strokes, whatever you want to call it, they won't look as nice, because the epoxy will fade into the other one. Since this one is clear, eventually it will paint the clear one blue, but you don't see the beads. So you have to let it sit, so it's kind of thick. So that's the procedure. I already told you what I used to spread it. Use gloves, because this is really messy. Use, you know, old clothing. You can put like a little whatever cover, and I think we're ready. I'm just kind of a little bit like, you know, going over everything, because once you mix, you have to spread it fast, okay? And oh, and I forgot to tell you, which, you know, make sure you have your heat gun ready to go, which I don't have, and get these yeah, this one. Get you one of these torches, especially with this tip. This is called the craftsman tip. If you go into your Home Depot, Lowe's, just use this tip. This tip is especially for this kind of stuff, because you can, you know, tilt it and it won't turn off. The regular tip, it will turn off. So just get this, have it ready to shoot. Have your heat gun, which I don't see it, I gotta find it, and have it ready, because once you spread it, you're gonna need to get the bubbles as soon as possible. Otherwise, they will get trapped into the epoxy. So yeah, my heat gun is over there. Let me get it ready, and that's it. Hopefully this turns out amazing. So let's start. Let's mixing, and nothing. Let's get going. All right, so let's get going. Your kit of epoxy will be with part A and part B. Make sure that you put even parts on the mix, and you guys that mix with a slow speed. With a slow speed, but you have to go like for about 3 to 5 minutes to make sure that it's mixed properly. Make sure you don't mix the cap, so you have to remove the cap, remove the inner cap. There you go, the cap. Then put your mixing cup on the 1-to-1 section. So there you go. So you're actually watching what's going on. You first put the epoxy. So we're gonna go to the 4 mark, which is like the higher mark. So we go up to the number 4. This would be 1.5 gallons once it's mixed. Okay, Okay, that's number 4 and 4. We got a whole 5 quarts ready to go. Watch, so we gotta go for at least 3 minutes. Up and down, all the way around, slowly. How do you know when it's mixed properly? Once it's finished, it's properly mixed, you're gonna see those strikes. It will look nice, even, clear. Okay guys, so we finally have it. Like, we went over like around 5 minutes mixing. At the end of the day, I added a little bit of flakes because I had some left over and I want this epoxy to be as shiny as possible. So let's start spraying. All right, this step has to be as fast as possible. Okay guys, so we already spread the first batch. We have to go hurry up and do the next batch. We didn't worry about the bubbles yet because some of them will burst as we wait. So all we have to do is mix another batch and right quick. So we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna go to the number 4, which I think should be enough, or more than enough actually, because the only thing that we're missing is the middle piece and the beads. So yeah, let's go to 3.5. Yeah, let me mix that right quick. Once we mix it, we're gonna put a little bit on one of these containers and add the pearl. So I'll see you in a bit. Okay guys, so we finally have our second batch. I'm just trying to not make a mess with the drill. And then before we apply the flakes, because at the end of the day I put a little bit of flakes, we're gonna pour somewhere around there. I think that should be more than enough to do the beads. If we need to mix some more, I'll mix some more. I just don't want it to run out. So what we do now, since this one is mixed, we're gonna get the pearls, and we're gonna put a lot because we're gonna make it to look as deep as possible. This you gotta mix it slowly, so the pearl won't burst on your face. You gotta let the powder mix really good into it. Look how beautiful it looks, nice and deep. We put a lot of it, a lot. So while we spread the second batch and we burst the bubbles on all of the things, this is gonna sit. Make sure that you're actually touching it in the meantime, because if it gets too hot, it's too late. It's gonna get like slightly warm. When it's slightly warm, sorry about my English. That's when you need to spread it, because if you wait too long, it's gonna get like kind of sticky, kind of hard, and it'll be too late. So everything that we do from now on, oh shit, gotta be really fast. Let me try to clean this up. I was supposed to mix the flakes into that before I did that, but I don't know. I gotta go look for another mixer. Oh my god. Thanks God I have another mixer, because I was supposed to put the flakes, mix the flakes, and then come back to this epoxy, because it's really hard to get the pearl of this thing. But thank God we had another mixer, and we'll be ready to roll. We're good. This one I won't put it there. I'm just gonna let it sit out there like this. Doesn't matter, because I think we already mixed everything. Let's go. Let's take our epoxy. And I'm always changing gloves just to make sure I don't get epoxy on my phone or the camera. Oh my god. Good. Let's go. All right, let's go. Alright guys, so we finally finished spreading. We gotta go back and hit it with a torch. I think it'll be easier. Just make sure that it's clean. You don't get any debris into the actual epoxy. You're gonna get it like really low, and you gotta hit it to get the bubbles out. Most of the bubbles are out. Now we gotta check our epoxy. It's still not ready yet, so we can use the meantime to touch it up, make sure that there is no debris, like little insects, mosquitoes, whatever go around. Touch it up, check it out, make sure that everything is okay, and we gotta mix for this to dry a little bit more. It's almost there. It's almost there. Okay. Okay guys, so we're ready to do this. I just gotta make sure that I know what I'm doing. Make sure that I spread it evenly. So yeah, let's do it. So now that we got the so you can see me, now that we got that spread on, we gotta do with a stick and just make a pattern. All right, here is up to your imagination. So just kind of mix it in a little bit so it doesn't look like just, you know, that it was like just laid down there. You can strike it out to, you know, make it look like marble. And that's it guys. This is up to your imagination, so there's no right or wrong technique about this. Some people use different tools. I just use a wood stick, popsicle stick, many of you call it, and that's it. All you have to do is just kind of go fast, so you know, so you can get on all the spots. That's what makes this looks just, you know, like a marble. So yeah, that's it, guys. Is it hard? No, I don't think so. It's just, you know, just having a little bit of imagination. And you have to go fast. You have to go fast. You can mix it a little bit like this, and you know, just make it, don't make it look obvious. What I mean by obvious is that, you know, you can see the popsicle stick, you know, strokes. So just go and you see, it's getting there, it's getting there. So I'm gonna put the camera away and I'll see. Alright guys, we have finished spreading the blue. As you can see, that's how it's gonna look. Eventually it's gonna spread out more. It's gonna look more realistic. As you can see, the difference from this one that we just did, between this one that we did at the beginning and this one is like in the middle. That's how it's gonna look, most of it. So yeah, what's next? We just have to go back either with a torch or with the heat gun. I'm gonna go with the torch, I think. And yeah, let's do it. Alright, so we pretty much have finished. All we have to do is wait until it actually dries. It might dry overnight. So this is the end result. You can actually see it's got a lot of flake. It's got the patterns, whatever you call it. All we have to do is just sit down, be watching for bubbles and mosquitoes and whatever that it can land on the epoxy while it's still wet. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'm just gonna let it sit. I'm not gonna touch it anymore, because the more you touch it, if you see that you did make a mistake or whatever, if you did a mistake, try not to touch it. I mean, you fix it later. You can pour another coat, you can sand it down, clear coat it, whatever. But I've seen that when you get a mistake, like whatever, you know, obviously if you get like a mosquito or something, you just take it out with some pliers. I use these little things I just kind of carve into, dig it out, and then just kind of move the box around, and it will level itself to its original position. So that's my advice. If you see something that it doesn't look like the way it should, just leave it. You'll fix it later. No too much heat, as you guys saw. Just spread it even. When you do the torch, not too hot, and move it fast. Otherwise you're gonna spread the epoxy. It might not come back to where it's supposed to be. It's gonna burn. You're gonna see like some yellow stains, and that's when it gets burnt. So you don't want that. Just spread it even, get a thick coat, and that's it. The way it turns out, this is the way it turns out. I mean, there is nothing you can do about it. There is no magic tricks. Like sometimes you get some texture. Maybe it's because you didn't get in the bubbles properly. So some maybe because you put a lot of heat. So it's just, you know, pour as fast as you can, get the bubbles out as fast as you can, put the pattern, get the bubbles, done. Don't mess with it a lot. So yeah, that's it, guys. I don't know what else to tell you, to explain you. I hope everything is clear. Like on top of these, there's gotta be another coat. I'm not gonna show you that because obviously it's gonna be pretty much the same process. You just sand it down, clean everything, and just a clean layer of epoxy. Some people call it this done, so it's up to you. So yeah, that's it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. It's gonna be kind of boring, but a lot of it's, you know, a lot of knowledge here. What else I forgot to mention? I showed you the these things that I used to spread the epoxy. I'm using the 3/16 side for this one. I've used the 1/8, but it's too thin. The 3/16, these you can get them at Lowe's. It's called, let me see if it's got a name. It says, well, there's the info. There in the flooring section by the wood floor. I think it's to spread either the glue for the wood floor or something like that. So yeah, that's it, guys. So what do you guys think? So that's it, guys. I hope you guys like this video. I'll see you in the next one, and yeah, subscribe.